feel wie ich bin in einem Podcast mit den Earphones.
Deze ding, kannst du richten den Mic zu dir, so die kannst du ein bisschen, de Bänkel bequem?
Ja, so geht. Oops.
Ist bequem, oder?
So geht, it's good. Ich bin ein sucker for comfortability, but I can, was ich meine?
Du sagst, du, der Schuh 2.
Yeah, no, it's good, yeah.
Shia, immer du.
Yeah, it took a couple of months.
Yes.
Wow.
Ich hatte eine interessante Sache mit einem Bruder. Ich habe herangewagt in einer
Welcher
Coffeeshop. Ein Twin.
Okay.
Ich walk heran und ich sehe, sitzt mit einem. Jetzt, ich meine, als dir. In a sense. Ich kiek nicht heran, als am Puhnen. Ich sehe, sitzt dort. Und ich habe so eine kleine Wave, hello. Ich sehe, sitzt mit einem Gast, mit einem, wem arbeitet mit. So kann ich mich nicht stören. Ich setze mich
Thank
herup.
you, I appreciate it.
Ja, nein, es macht Sinn. Ich kann nicht ziehen. Hallo, ich kenne doch, ich will es dir, ja?
Right.
Ich habe so eine kleine Wave und ich setze mich herup, ich trinke meinen Kaffee. Ich sehe, wie er kijkt. Und er kijkt noch einmal. Und ich tracht, like, verwus kijkt er? Like, why is he looking? Like, nicht die kickst. Kickst so wie mit Curiosity. Im Mitten geht er mir eine Frage, wieso heißt die? Und ich meinte, and I think, like, why are you messing with me? Like, ich suche mich bei VIGGY. Ich habe mir immer eine Regel zu gehabt, aber er kennt mich nicht. Ich habe mir gesehen, einmal bei Camping. But,
Right. Ja, es ist, da macht mich eine Story von, in so einem aufgewachsenen in Monroe, in so einem gedacht, Schiel Bahutz. In, du weißt, kennst du Bahutz?
Mal fetter.
Oh my goodness, you're right, Farkas, wow. Ja,
dat
ich
klein?
denk da Mimi, ich flieg mich dran bei sein daheim. Anyway, but du da Bitty Baby schwer, heißt Benzin green. Du denkst dem?
Just personally.
Whatever is, I big leent I big is, that is not some Mensch, that a cute Mensch. Letztens ging auf Kamanzi, anyway, Irmand. So, kommt daran, I think, sie gehen mal Mitzvah. Kommt daran, sie bei Mitzvah, kommt zu Mazel Tov, und geht sich stellen, sind du 2? Man hat gefragt, what do you mean? Like, ich habe gemeint, er ist auch so wild, wenn ich bin da mit der Gruß zurückgekommen, und deswegen sitzen mit ihm, deswegen sich mich gemacht mit ihm. In something like 5 or 6 years, I never even picked up that there's 2. Now, if you look for it,
Yeah, you're gonna find
or
it.
if
Yeah.
you're very aware, a lot of people are not that aware of their surroundings. You know, they live, they go, yeah, als ich dann andere Sachen was busy mit, he didn't pick it up. So I feel like these days, like, people can come over and like, oh, yes, when ich treffe Menschen, like, sometimes I'm like, by the way, like, I'm a twin, so you might bump into me, but it's not going to be me.
Ja,
So,
ich rief es derselbe Mensch andere in der Schumme.
Exactly. Genetically, it's like some twins, we are identical twins. It's funny, if 2 identical twins marry 2 identical sisters and they have a child, these 2 first cousins have the same genes. 100% the same genes. I mean, ich bin nicht kein Physik and whatever, but I saw a couple of stories and it's just insane. So these 2 kids, these 2 first cousins, are actually also technically genetically identical twins. Identical twins. Like,
Almost.
their genetics is they're the same. So it's like 2 brothers, 2 identical twins. Everything's the same.
Wow.
Yeah, it's cool.
Interesting.
Yeah. And the subject of a twin, it was annoying as a child.
Wie ist dir gefühlt?
Different. I mean, jeder andere sagt dann, sie haben gefühlt different, and it's true. Like, I believe everybody feels different, but it's a whole different, like, family dynamic. Ich meine, jeder andere hast da ältere Brüder, hast da jüngere Brüder, hast Cousins, hast da Mama, hast da Tata. It's a complete different story, ob die hast da equal. You can never be special, wegen deiner Tata, Mama haben doch mal zu treaten different, wegen deiner Brüder werden jealous. Na, aber du bist älter, der jünger, kann man sagen, okay, die bekommst das, ja, die
Du bist älter, das ist an sein Age.
Du bist jünger, das ist an sein Age, man kann nach dem kacken mit dich. Wenn bist der Twin, ich meine, every single thing until you get engaged is, I mean, the bar mitzvah is zusammen, birthday parties, like, everything is treated like equally the same, and it's tough to be parents of twins. I mean, I'm sure, you know, if I have twins in the home, they'll be able to relate, and Sachen, was other people can't. I mean, in Chayde, the competition in yeshiva, to find your own identity is very hard because you're always judged and expected to perform.
Also wie der andere. Weil dir.
Geht so wie dich, sieht aus wie dich.
That's also funny.
Jetzt bringst du an in Monroe, where there's like 0 knowledge or education about Gosh, hand, but like when we were kids.
Irrelevancy hand.
Yeah, mental health. I have nothing against anybody. Everybody's great people, but the fact is that there was no mental knowledge about anything. Guy even fangen zo'n verstehen.
What's the malas for Zana twin? Did you see any malas?
I'm sure there's a lot. I mean,
No, ich red von dir.
Okay, so now growing up, we're very close. It's like, and ich feel so wie, but again, because I mentioned this with the regular breeders.
Ja, okay, but a regular breeder geist nicht durch the twin complex. You don't have the choice.
I guess the mal is, wenn es geht doch besser.
So geht das double besser.
But I'm kidding. Me and my twin, we're always like up and down. We're always.
Wie different bist du von ihm? Ich rede according in the birth.
I'm 47 minutes later.
47 minutes. Die bist gegangen so wie...
Yeah, I was like, wow, finally some
Die
space.
guy, you
yeah,
go,
let
you
me
go.
stay, you know? It was a moment of silence.
Du bist der mehr mental state, huh?
Yeah, I was like, wow, some space, you know? So, yeah.
Cute. But the benefits sagst du, als du Eibe gehad, wo sind die benefits bei dir gewesen? Spielen? Hast du gerade einen Mensch spielen mehr?
Interesting. Ich habe mich getracht von der Benefit. I'm not saying there was no benefits. I'm sure there was benefits. But it's gonna...
So nicht highlighted.
There might be. I don't know. Ich habe mich getracht davon. It's interesting. So sicher als... Ooh. I complain too much. I can think of it.
This is, ich sehe schon als a complaint. Sometimes I'm guessing, se du a viele mit Breeders, wie zwei Breeders sind just tighter, wie a zweiter mit seinem Breeder.
Exactly.
So, I guess by twins, ob sie ist tight zusammen, sind sie nicht super tight. I'm guessing, like...
Yeah, I don't... yeah, but it's interesting. Ich dachte jetzt, like, zumindest Jean, se kennen seine Sache ist just okay. Zumindest Jean, jede Sache hat, like, maschigene Malas. Ich hab's gesagt?
Yeah.
Some things are just tough. I believe that I chose it. Die Stadt kann alles führen, you know? We choose a life based...
Die bist so wie, give me someone that looks like me.
So sicher, was etwas ist gechoose, so sicher, was hat mich aufgebaut, so sicher, was hat mich immer Sach-Life experience, would I change with anybody? I mean, that's a question you can ask from anybody. I mean, depends on the moment. Would I change my life with anybody? I don't think so.
No. Let's be real.
Mean?
Let's be real.
But I don't know what it's like to just be...
Not a twin.
Yeah, I feel like I get it to my mama lately, like, building an identity, I feel like is harder when you're a twin.
Oh, die bist nicht tight mit ihm.
I feel a bit tight with him. It's like you have a half identity. Okay, also wie du verstehst das, I mentioned society, I mentioned the community, had an easier time to build an identity because his identity is what everybody around them is.
Yeah.
Like, let's say you left the community, right?
Yes.
And now it took you a couple of years to build your own identity because suddenly it's nothing.
But kommst nicht kein confirmation from the outside world. Dus bist die.
Exactly, and you have to find what you are, right?
Yes.
It's
schwerer.
not a bad thing.
No, but it's schwerer.
Ultimately, once you have it, nobody can take it away from you, and it's nothing to do with somebody.
It's not dependent on other
It's
people.
yours, right?
Wow,
Is it
interesting.
painful while you do it? I believe so, but would I change?
But growth is pain. I mean, there's no...
guess, yeah.
But,
whether we like it or not, right?
Yeah, when man legt daran a Kedel in the floor, right? It has to break through to the Sinn.
Right.
Der reason ich so wegen Kedel in fields. Ich weiß, die aus lieb animals. Eine von meinen excitement, von die reden, ist auch, ich weiß, die aus lieb animals. Wenn ich suche kommen von einer Society, wie Fliegen in Bären, ist alles voll ekelig, geht nach Essen, in Basen. Und ich habe nicht gute Education, so ich habe Mühe von jeder Sache. Eine kleine Sache, I walk down the road und so mal kieren. So, ich sing, und sie kommen ein zu walken zu mir. Like, ich sehe, als ich fange walken und ich sing, at the beginning fliegen sie mehr so wie prancen zu mir. Ich habe kein Schiss, ich mag sie petten, sie nicht. Like,
Wer gesagt?
Kieren.
Oh, okay.
Chaos.
Yeah.
So, ich bin so excited, ich will arbeiten einmal mit Pferden. Ja? And I just arbeiten in the community. That's a joke. No, I'm saying the idea, like, ich habe lieb animals, but ich habe Hassan nicht das. Education deswegen. Also, ich habe heute, weiß ich sehe auf YouTube, wie the horse toist in the back.
Right.
So, ich habe nicht echt kein knowledge. So, ich weiß, die wohnst auf der Farm?
So, ich bin auf einer Farm, ich habe eine Ranch, and it's some 4 horses in the heim.
Das bekommst du
dogs and cats.
Like, bro, what are you saying?
I got chickens. I think the difference between a farm and a ranch is a farm is kind of, so do agriculture in stups I use
Case, det finns, bringt oss karn. That's a...
karna,
Right.
milch, whatever. Okay, I guess you can call it a farm.
Okay, so det är horses. Horses,
fine.
instead med farm, alltså vi anything, when man zoekt city, meint man anything nog GW Bridge.
Right.
Liksom right, Manhattan or the Brooklyn.
Right,
or the,
and people from the city are like, I'm coming to the city. I'm like, yeah, but I'm in Brooklyn. I'm like, yeah, that's to us, that's the city. And it's actually the right wording, that everything is the city.
Everything over the bridge by Inns is city.
But it's true. That's actually how you're supposed to call it.
Okay.
It's not wrong. You're
No,
not wrong.
okay. Miscommunication. So zelfs ook wegen farm. Ich meine, ich like a farm was macht Kian, was macht Milch oder...
Right. Okay, so
Animals.
I guess, yeah, one of a farm.
So, die hast horses?
So my vab is an equine therapist. I eat horses. I take care. I help out. I build stuff. I love building stuff. That's also probably one of my biggest hobbies is building. I built a barn, cabins, and stuff. I like to build.
Cool.
But she is I'd love to show you. But she's an equine therapist. It's like I mean therapy was with horses. So she's certified in that. She was in Israel. She got her diploma and whatever. She works with it. She works with them.
So therapy for the horse.
Nice therapy for humans.
For humans with the horse.
So it's like emotional therapy.
An emotional animal.
Yeah, because horses are one of the smartest animals in the world. I mean, think of it as it's humanity's oldest friend. Before dogs, before anything, we were riding
horses?
Yeah, now, which other animal can you sit on? They like it. They obey you, and you don't have to hit them to obey you. You just have to communicate with them. I've seen my wife ride for hours and hours, or other people. She never has to even do anything that the horse is uncomfortable with.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Nog a question. Like a große question, I'm finally kendig vragen. You flew on horseback riding back in the day. Like, my guy horseback riding. I never really felt like I'm riding the horse.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I felt like ich bin auf a horse was followed that trail.
Right.
It's not really...
Riding
I'm not
the horse.
communicating with the horse. Nicht weil ich can communicate with the horse. I'm just saying that
Right.
I never felt like in control.
The cowboy was
Yeah, it's a man horse. Is du etwas als Jens is also wie
Yes, absolutely.
trained horses?
9. So basically, so it's very interesting when it comes to riding horses. I'm not an expert. I'm not a professional. I took a couple of classes on my yard with a trainer. My wife is the expert in that. If you want to have her on, I'd be glad to reach out. I'm in.
Please.
The people think that riding a horse is like riding a jet ski. Like you have to hold on, right? And you just pull this way and this way, and you go. The idea why horseback riding is so mentally healthy and why there's equine therapy and why people do it for meditation and why people do it for their mental health is because it actually F's with your whole system. The way to ride a horse is when it is to relax on it and to let yourself be thrown around with the horse. And it's a lot of mental training because what would you do if the horse starts running? You'd hold on even tighter, right?
Yeah.
But if you're a horse and the person holds on even tighter, what does it tell you? Oh, go faster, right? He's in for action. It doesn't tell the horse, oh, no, slow it down. Because a horse...
but I know it more.
Yeah, a horse is energetically. Everything is energetic. That's why, like, back in the day, I'm geschlagen and gefrasken the horses. Like, these days, like equine, Rav mentions in Rav the hunting generation in a meidlich was into equine, is the emotional connection with the horse and the spiritual and energetic connection that the horse will... I bring you up my property. I have a horse. You just have to get in sync with it, with her. You don't have to do anything. And when you walk, it will walk. When you stop, it will stop. When you run, it will run. When you pick up your hand, it will do this. And then when you get on it, you don't have to pull. You hold a thing like this. You just have to think, go right. They can feel a tiny bit of pressure from your left hand.
Yeah, because you're going to go... If you think right, your shoulder's going to go
your shoulder's
that direction.
going right. If you're a professional rider, which I'm not, your thighs are going right. Your body tells right, and they go right. There is no pulling. I still pull. I'm not a good horse rider. I'll tell you this. But your question also refers to like some of these cowboys are massive, massive horse abusers. And
there's always.
Does it feel in control of the horse? Yes, but there is another way. The real horseback riding is like meditation. You get to relax. You get to be in sync with the animal. It's an art. It takes months or years to get the muscle memory, to get the training, to be in. And then it also depends on the horse. But horses with you guys horseback ridings, and then I'm not going to say abused horses, but they are. Weißt du, kein female talk, with dieselbe trail. Und der Horse weiß, wie geht. So hat echt gemacht, gar nicht wie die polst. Weil der Horse ist irgendwann zu einem Beginner. So, weiß schon, die schleppst right, left. Geht sich zu viel zu machen. Weiß, dass du der Mensch in der Front, right?
Kontrollt, geht geben Essen.
Geht ihm noch, because die kannst du ihm dran ranzudrücken in den Wald. Efter für 10 Sekunden hat gehen, but geht mit seiner Crew. And of course it doesn't feel like you ride the horse because you're not. The person in the front, if I would put you on a horse in an open field now, oh dude, you jump off after 10 seconds, because I would. It's scary. They can take off, they can kill you. It's
They want to kill you?
No, but if you spook them, if you so here's the thing with animals overall. No animal wants to kill you. There is not a single animal that wants to kill you. The only thing that wants to kill is humans. Even a lion, if he eats you, he doesn't want to kill you. He wants to eat.
He wants food.
Exactly. A horse is a very, very calm, I wouldn't say calm, but a very intelligent animal. They're very pure. Ze zijn gettlich. Zij essen stroo. They don't eat humans. They don't kill humans for a living. Nor humans haben das ausgefigured.
No, their species.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
For pleasure.
For pleasure.
Dolphins do. Dolphins.
Dolphins?
Dolphins kill others for fun.
It's very interesting. You know what's
I mean,
interesting about
99.9% of gedenken zo. I mean, it could be I'm wrong.
It's very interesting that you say that. You know the funny thing about dolphins? Dolphins are the only species. You can Google this. I think like it's documented. Dolphins are the only species that have sex for pleasure.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that they're also the only species that kill for fun?
I think so.
That's interesting. I wonder. What
I don't know. Now I feel like I.
You never know.
I think it was the sex thing.
Oh, okay.
Now I
think
go
that route. Okay,
no,
fine,
I think I just mixed it up.
You never know.
So when the CIA, there was a guy who wanted to train dolphins, and there was a woman that used to do sexual things with them to calm them down.
Oh, wow.
But they stopped it because Matasarov liked in the newspaper. It didn't sound good.
Interesting.
It didn't sound
Probably
well.
didn't look good either, but yeah.
The optics.
Yeah. So horses, like any other animal, if you spook them, they kick. That's what an animal does. That's what you do. If I come up and I spook you, like you're in the middle of doing something, and I can like, VIGGY, boom, get the fuck out of here, right? Like that's what everybody does.
So, yeah.
A horse gets spooked sometimes easily because there's a lot. They're very aware of their surroundings. Like we're so on our phones with our work, with our family. They're like, all they do is chill. It's like, you're in the most relaxed. Imagine yourself being a horse. You have to imagine yourself in the most relaxed state of mind that you've ever been, and go out on the sun, get a tea, get a coffee, and just sit for 2 hours, and you'll notice every bird, right? You'll be a part of nature. A horse is always like that. Besides when you take them on a run and you distract them, but like horses are very, very aware of their surroundings. So if you do something that's like too fast, and ik zeg maar wat zeg maar clients in the equine therapy, and like they come and says, and I'm wild with the horse, and my wife's like, no, you gotta calm down, because like they're so sensitive. They're so
there's no real danger to walk.
No, we've had horses for
like
4 years now. No, there was one incident, somebody got kicked because a horse was locked up for a long time. It was a new horse, whatever. But like,
generally, no.
Especially if you know how to be around horses, you can fall, they can trip. They're animals. They're not, they're not machines. There can be accidents, but like, they will kick you if you spook them.
So Sanisha
never.
All right, that was one of the fears.
No. I mean, when you talk about fear of animals, like think yourself in your life, like who has hurt you? Was it humans or animals? And if it was animals, like was it that one bee that because I can pet bees.
So we don't have that connection with animals. I think it's terrible.
I think it's very terrible.
One of my bucket list things is to open up a place where we have all types of animals in Yiddish, meant for people like me to come and see. Oh, I can touch this. I can do that. I could pet that. This is that. Like signs to understand. Like I was in a kleine story. We get in New Orleans.
Yeah, not a long story. Yeah, I spoke enough.
No. I was in New Orleans, and it's between renovations, whatever. I came a phone call. They found a snake. So I tell the guy, "What do you want from me?" Oh, they want to kill it or whatever. So I said, "No." So I saw it in the bottle.
How big was the snake?
A small
garter snake, whatever.
No.
Okay.
A bigger snake. But so you say for snake, yeah. So there was a guy, one of the inspectors. He walks up and he says, "By the way, I have 8 snakes by me in my house. So I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? Let's have a meeting. Let me ask you all the dumb questions to understand, because ich weiß nicht. And if that all the answers come back good, I'll adopt it for a couple of months. And I asked them if it's a bust and they're venomous, and because I didn't know. And he sure gemacht that alles is fine. I remember it was in my hand. Gewoon gehad my hand had so geschokken. Like, hop a slang. Like, I didn't know, but I worked on it. And then a few days later, I walked around with it on my
I used
thing.
to have a snake. I was never able to do that. They are so creepy. That's one thing that I have as a snake. I get so creeped out.
They're very, sie sind, wie heißt das? Sie sind nicht so do a nummer für sie, crabs, and they're not friendly. They're not, like one time he bit me because he was shedding and I didn't see him, and I put in my hand and gegangen von my finger. I jumped away, the ganze cage geflogen. But I'm saying,
Must have feel like a
no, gar nicht.
Right.
It's not even a snake that does that. But I'm saying, I worked on myself.
Kennst du auch gesehen, wenn baast der Schlange? Schlange ben feel in danger.
They feel in danger.
Yeah.
Also, it pisses off because they go into hiding all day, and at night they only want to escape. And you can keep them in a shoebox. He keeps them in containers. You don't.
Yeah. It's funny. I used to have a snake. I gave it up because it was a bit gross. You have to give it like mice, and I didn't want to give it the dead ones.
Oh, we spoke about it.
And my wife really didn't like it.
But that's the way how they eat. I bought snakes by PetSmart, frozen. Listen, that's the way they eat. I wouldn't give them live animals. I wouldn't give.
I loved it. It was a sport because it catches it like within 5 seconds, and you never see them moving, and then they eat it, and then it goes down their throat, and you can see it going down.
They stack it away for weeks in a way.
They don't intentionally, but their body it takes. Yeah, they only eat every 2 or 3 weeks, so they
don't have to eat for months if they have.
Yeah.
And also, a snake doesn't leave it. Like, they might travel 3 miles from where they were born.
Wow.
Like, they don't really travel. Right. They hide. I have videos. I put a camera at night. It was trying to get out constantly. Like,
yeah. It's funny. You told me, sir, they don't have to eat for months. I ended up giving it away. There's a very sweet guy in Muncie. His name is Leiby Rothstein. Oh, you need to have him on your thingy. He's a bus driver. He lives in, he has a nice house. And
if you're going to tell me everything about him, then.
Oh, he's a super cool dude. He was actually the one of the people that I had a farm like 6-7 years ago in the Catskills, a little farm. I worked in a camp, and I took my whole salary that I got and I built a farm for the kids in the camp. I just enjoyed animals. I didn't know. I wasn't financially smart or anything. I walked away from that summer with like
with a minus.
With a minus, and like all the money was like literally for a farm that like the kids in the camp enjoyed. That's how much I loved animals. And Leiby Rothstein actually sold me those chickens. And anyway, so I ended up giving the snake to Leiby Rothstein because Leiby Rothstein loves everything that moves, every animal. Every human. He's a super, super good guy.
I hope humans too.
Yeah. And actually, a couple of weeks after I gave it to him, I'm like, Leiby, what's doing with the snakes? He's like, oh, it escaped.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know if my wife knows, but it's not in the, whatever. It's not in the cage. We don't know where it is. I think he found it like 6 months later in the boiler room or something.
Doesn't
just like
move.
Double the size. Does it found water? So they need water. Found water somewhere, dripping or something. And they're just fine.
Staffische stimulation.
Ooh, nice. So it's probably a curse too. I guess this is the Zagus Meretas, the Schlings, and geworden geschalten.
They lost their legs of the geschalten part.
I don't think they need legs, by the way.
No, but they needed legs. They developed. No, now they don't need. I'm saying as per the story.
Yeah, but let's say if everything is just the way it is. If a snake is a snake, they don't need legs.
No,
let's take away that. I don't think that's a curse. That's actually pretty cool that they don't need legs because they're the only creature they get around everywhere.
And everything tastes like sand. That's what the two curse.
Right. It's true.
Just saying what they say.
Yeah.
It's literally what it needs, and then it just doesn't need stimulation. It doesn't understand. There's the odd ones that do actually develop a relationship with the owner.
Yeah, you can see on Instagram like little kids cuddling around with like 20. Oh my goodness.
But sometimes I'm saying they don't have relationships. They don't have. They're culture breeds. I don't remember the word. Like it's a certain word you use for these type of animals. But some get like an affinity. There's like a...
I don't remember the name. Like a lizard, like a...
The same.
You can Google it.
There's like a name for it. Like... but sometimes in an animal's life, they go through... As much as I understand it, I'm not sure. they go through a period where they snap in their head and they're like, oh, you're my mommy, you're my tati.
Reptiles.
Reptiles.
Okay.
Once they sometimes by animals, they go through like something happens and they understand that you're the owner and they act differently. Very few.
Right. So probably when you have them when they're very young, because like some animals, if they never see their parents, again, this is just projection.
Yeah.
If they never see their parents, they get used to the person that's feeding them, that's kind of their mother or their caregiver. And like you can see it by goats, by dogs, by like so many animals, even by bears, like go in zoos, like there's a certain zoo, actually in America, where there was like 8 tiger cubs that I think the mom is gestorben, something happened, and they introduced a golden retriever
as the mother.
And yeah, and you can see videos. It's very, you can find it where it's even today when the tigers are so big, that dog still lives with them. And the tigers are 3 times the size of a dog. They can eat it for lunch, and they cuddle with the dog.
Yeah, they don't understand they could eat it.
Yeah, but it became kind of their mother figure, and she cares for them. And if it's funny because like when you see the tigers fighting, like the dog like breaks it up.
They're disciplined.
Like, hey, ho, like stop it. And it's like they all have respect, because like for them, so many things that we go through is wiring and programming. We have no idea really what's going on. It's really what you've been told from when you're so tiny, again and again. I mean, this whole thing might have started at 65 years. Like, we have no idea. We're computers. We're programmed, right?
Yeah.
If you take a little kid and from the day it was born and you put it in a room with robots, and you tell them a story that the world was created 10 months ago, and these robots are it will grow up, and everything he believes, he will back up.
Yeah.
It will be his story, his experience.
And also if your surrounding tells you that, confirmation bias.
Of course.
If your whole neighborhood...
Even if we don't know what we don't know.
And we also don't know what is not true, but we feel as it's true, So it's like...
Yeah, because you've also been told to doubt what you believe and what you think so many times for like so many years that like that's where intuition comes in, because intuition is real. It's not something that has anything to do with the brain. It's intuition. It's like, I don't think I had to tell you not to kill people. You kind of know it, right?
I mean, I kind of freaking hope so. But
I think so. I think humans are created with the knowledge not to kill. It's intuitive. You don't have to, like Gamvana. Like again, there's people that Gamva, but like if you have enough, then you have also intuition.
What does enough mean? For you, enough could mean on the psychedic enough, and some people could have everything. But
right, that's where trauma comes in.
They don't feel like they have
that's
enough.
Where trauma comes
but they
in,
want more and more and more, and then they want the unattainable thing.
Right.
But zurückgehen to the horses.
We're talking about a lot of subjects.
Yeah. But I want to go back to the farm thing because I think it's very interesting because I think it's like a total subject wie in sind bechlall nicht herangegangen. Ich rede as a society, was verpasst die ganze Sache, like chickens and eggs and in horses. Ich habe gewatcht the videos wie man clean the sheich.
The farrier. Yeah.
I know there's there's by cows also they pick up the cow and they do the hoofs and stuff.
Yeah.
Who does it by you?
So we have a guide. So they're called a farrier. They come every couple of weeks or months. I don't know. I'm not doing that. I'm not on the schedule. Certain horses need it. Certain horses don't. They all have to be trimmed because otherwise they keep growing. It's like basically a nagel, and they stand on it. So, als du get Menschen werden krank, ob sie Schiech nicht geht, dann darf man special Schiech, because your balance on what you stand the whole day has a lot to do with mit shedra, mit alles. So the same as with a horse. If one grows longer and the other one gets chopped off in this angle because they walk on rocks or whatever, everything about the horse, they're 1,100 pound animals. The ones that I have, there's ones that are much, much heavier, and they need a proper balance to stand and relax and be able to be a healthy horse. And they need a lot of human intervention to be a healthy horse, especially with today's environment where they eat hay and they eat grain and all that stuff. Like everything else, it's very modernized and to do wild horses.
Yeah.
You go. I was in England a couple of years ago. There's a whole forest. It's called the New Forest. It's right next to Bournemouth. It's 3-4 hours from London, and they have hundreds of horses just running wild. They don't need any human intervention. I mean, they do have the government stuff. They check them out, but like, if you have horses at home, they need shots every couple of months. They need the vet come every couple of months.
What's the name of the guy?
So it's called a farrier. They basically
farrier.
they trim the shoes, and some owners put on the horse
the metal
thing. Not everybody. Some horses you can put it on the front. You don't want to put it on the back. If the horse that kicks a lot, and a horse has those, the horseshoes on the the back legs, and they kick another horse, that horse is gone. So like, if a horse is a bit of a wild one, you don't put it in the back. But again, I'm not a horse specialist. I'm not. I think the term is like a horse husband. You can look it up online. We're a big crew of people suffering with wives that like really love horses, and it's cost a lot of money. And we just build, we take care, we're kind of supportive, but like we can't touch the horse without permission.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, no, not in a bad way, but it's kind of her animals, and she's emotionally attached to them. It's her project. I mean, I love them, but like I can't take them. I can't go home now and just like ride a horse.
Why not?
I'll go ask her.
Oh, okay, yeah, but I'm saying like, do you ever go out riding?
So I take her and her friends. We have a horse trailer. I take her to trails because I don't feel safe going on a trail ride. That's what I'm telling you. Like, I would feel safe in a heartbeat to go on like these rental places to go ride a horse, but like I wouldn't feel safe to get one of our horses and go on a trail ride.
Why?
Because it can take off, and I will hold on and I'll kill myself.
So how do you calm down the horse?
I got a trainer 6-7 months ago. Slowly I'm learning to relax because it has a lot to do with
I see what you're saying.
With my brain. I have ADHD. I struggle with my mental health. I struggle to stay present for a long time. It's hard for me to just focus and relax for a really long time. I struggle with this, but hopefully one day I can.
With the right training.
Yeah. Would I want to? Oh, I would want to do it today, but would it be smart? I don't think so.
Even riding around in your neighborhood?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I have an arena that I can ride in.
Yes.
Over there, I've done it a couple of times myself, but they're big, they're dangerous. It's all fun when you have a guy in the front, you go on a trail ride. It's so different when it's you and the horse in an open field. That horse, you accidentally pull the wrong way and you're not like in sync with them. You have to be in sync with a horse. You can't just go on a horse and give him 2 Fraske.
No, I'm not talking about that.
So you have to be so knowledgeable about what happens if it actually goes out of control. Like, so one of the things is like, my trainer told me, she said, let's say if a horse starts running really fast, like one of the things you can do to slow it down is you pull one side so they start going in circles until they can't go anymore, right? Okay. But all these things, it takes muscle memory because if you don't have the muscle memory, the first thing you will do if a horse spooks, before you know it, you're off the ground and you're like,
or the horse gets up like on two legs.
The first thing you do is you grab on, it spooks him. You're in the air. I mean, look online what's going on. If you don't know how to be around the horses, like don't. You can be around them, you can pet them, but like you gotta be calm.
You gotta be supervised.
You gotta be supervised or calm. And like sadly, a lot of people don't even know how to be calm, and they think they're calm, but we're liars. As humans, we're the best liars. You can always calm. But like, if your energy isn't calm, the horse
knows, yeah.
And now that you know that, like, if you become very aware and very enlightened and very spiritual person, you feel these things. Like, I'm sure you have times where you're like very, very calm and alle leben die kannst filmen wie en like kannst filmen jetzt auf mich, like I'm like alive, right? But ich can reden sehr ruhig, but like I'm not, right?
Yeah. I mean, you could play it ruhig.
Yeah, you can play it.
But the horse, you can't not.
You can't play with a horse. They know exactly what's going on. And that's where equine therapy comes in.
What's the therapy?
So I'm not like 100% sure about everything, but like
it's all good.
Based on my understanding, it's to become real with your emotions because the horse will mirror it. Whether you like it or not, if you come in all over the place, the horse will mirror it. They will be all over the place. And I've seen my wife work with people, with couples, with stuff, and it's just phenomenal. Again, Some people have a mental blockage to even believe. They know that animal therapy is a thing. Some people are more open-minded to different,
Even the placebo effect, bin ich okay mit.
Some people are very,
Saying, like, even if it works 50% only placebo is also good.
Right. And what about just being around nature and God? Like, isn't this the what Baal Shem Tov getan for 10 Jahren in the Wald, that gegangen and connected to God, to nature? I mean, is there, in my understanding, in my feeling, I don't think there's, I mean, put religion aside and the Torah and alles was heilig bei uns, but like, Göttlichkeit of the Welt is nature. Now, ich weiß, dass alle andere Sachen ist auch heilig, but like Göttlichkeit, die will sehen, wie sie Gott hat sich expressed. Gei kick auf nature, gei kick auf Chayes, gei kick in der Welt. Alle Tzadikim, das ist es, badet das in der Weg. Gei connect mit Gott allein, gei connect mit nature. It's in the more untouched nature is, the more beautiful form of expression of God there is, right? Göttlichkeit.
Yeah. I'm taking it in. I'm taking it in, as you said.
Go outside. Look at the bees. Look at a hummingbird. Look at animals. Go. I mean, ihr geht zu the zoo, das sag mal allein. I put on my headphones. I just put on music and I can just stand for hours. I mean, come on. Like, is something more beautiful than that? We look at movies. We look at so many artificial things that were created. But, like, all you got to do is slow it down and, like, look.
Watch for them squirrel.
Yeah, just like... And then you become we're creating now VR and all the things to take you out of nature. And like when you go on VR, like what do? You go to you put in your earphones and you go to like a nature place.
You go into
and
nature.
You're like, wow, look at these mountains, right? And like, wow, look what we created. No, we didn't. We created an artificial thing to tell your brain that you're there. You can just, save a couple of months, money and you can go have it. Like, but we're so... in a chasing, in a rushy life to like, get money for something. Like, what is the end goal?
Yeah.
Isn't it a walk in nature?
Was gehit a grosser point. End goal.
Isn't it a walk in nature?
There was a couple walking on a trail and they got to a beautiful view and one says to the other, wow, so kick those via painting. The painting kick those via them.
Exactly. Yeah, it's so funny when I see like when I say they are like Canadian ducks, they pass, and I always tell my wife, look, it's a moving painting, because like I get like manic, I get stuck on it when I see it. When I see these things, I stop. I'm like, wow.
They don't even know what they're doing. Like they don't.
We don't know.
No, they don't know in the way we think they.
Yeah, we have no idea.
But it's not like they have a meeting. Okay, we're flying north.
Yeah. Like, does a bird ever... I always have this question. Does a bird ever fly for fun? I mean, you always see them... Like, sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm done with my day. I'm done with my duties. Now let's just go with people. Let's go, let's find a convertible. Let's put in a convertible. I don't know. Like, I don't think we've ever been birds or any other species. We have no idea. Have you ever seen, like if there is a fire and, like, the whole street is, like, full of people looking?
Yeah, okay.
Have you ever seen a bird stop and say, ooh, that's cool? They don't do that. We have no we have understanding on their behaviors, what they do and when they do it. Sometimes even why they do it, but like what it means being a bird, the way they have vision. They might see colors and might have 300,000 colors that we don't even begin to understand what they even mean. They have taste like we have no... Dude, we don't know. We can't even compare it to anything because we were only humans. Our machinery is built for humans. We have no idea what it means being a horse. We can try to understand it, but like that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like God is Ein Sof, and we're trying to look into deep space to see what's going on. Dude, there's on Netflix. There's a show, I think Tiny. I don't remember the name of it. It's about tiny creatures, like little bees and stuff, and like with with tiny little cameras, like they document their life. And you can't wrap your head around it, like the amount of species, like millions and millions of species.
That exist. Billion.
Probably.
Yeah.
And the life that they have, and the more you look, the less you know. The more you look, the more overwhelmed you are with the detail of what's really going on. I mean, go put like little insects under like microscopes and like, did you ever see like the photo of an ant, the face of an ant? Oh, I'm going to scare you. Let me show you this.
So do the tridopod.
Yeah, let me show you this.
You'll send it to me, so I'll post.
You put this in the camera if you can.
No, I'm saying I'll put it in the video.
Oh, okay.
So you'll send me the picture, and
good.
I'll put it in.
So I'll show you the face of an ant.
Oh, that is the bee.
Yeah, but this is the face of an ant.
Oh, Yeah.
Can you believe it? This is an average ant. This is a murichka. Okay, we're looking for aliens. We're looking for different. We're making movies, based on we're trying to create the most effed up faces, right? Animation, all that. Dude, this is I didn't take you to some safari. Showed you some, of course, showed you some species that never existed, a dinosaur that we don't know if it did. I mean, for sure it did. We don't know how long ago, but like these fossils are real. Go take an ant, like, and zoom in. And like, let's talk about the universe. Let's talk about creation for a second. Like, what's really going on here? We have no idea.
Like bees. If you ever saw bees close up, their eyes, like two nets. It looks like two nets.
Yeah, with the squares on it.
Yeah. They see square, by the way.
Oh, interesting.
They know because they took bees and they stuck them onto sticks, and they had like screens in front of them to see when they go right and left, and they try
they have their ways probably, but like, I don't.
They don't know. No.
Yeah, I don't believe science. I think we think that science is like this far. I think science is like at a 0.1 of what it's gonna be.
We find out as much as we don't know.
Exactly. We don't know what we don't know, and the tools that they have now has only been around for It's only been around for like 50 years. Technology has been around like how long has computers been around?
Hitler didn't look. Sie gehen damals nicht Teleskop. No. Wie heißt der, was man kijkt daarop
Not telescopes?
Nein. Teleskop is man kijkt daarop van de Laguna. Ich meine, it's space.
I don't know. Oh, microscope.
Microscope. So he didn't look into microscope. But when we gemacht de eerste Mal a microscope, we haben het gekeken, they opened up a whole new world. So do of dan hand to do as a
Why are you referring to Hitler though?
No, because he was like, nah, we don't have to invest money in it. Like they didn't look into it. I don't know why I brought it up, because I think also because he said 50 years and Hitler was like 80 years ago.
Yeah. Hitler's a big subject. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like, no. Hitler. Wow, we have so much to talk about.
No, I'm sad.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
No, I didn't mean that. So I'm saying, I meant to say is it was just around the corner. Wie eindelijk zoekt nes en is do. And if you look up tyrotats or therotats, it's things that crawl around in your hand. On your finger right now. In
oh, I know what you're talking about. And they're alive.
Yeah.
And they eat each other.
They have
and
like
they're in us.
They're walking around right now, and they sent it up to the moon because it crashed. The Israelis sent up so they could survive in space.
Wow.
So there is tyrotats on tyrotats. I denk is exactly the noemen. So and ze zeggen kleine skitos ze zeggen
Yeah, put a picture on it as well. Yeah. Weiß dir das? It's like a kleine...
A mole in the front.
Yeah.
Ze do fish in the Wasser. They're so deep that they didn't have to develop good looks. So they look like monsters.
Oh.
Because looks, there's no sunlight.
Interesting. Oh, they didn't... Wow.
They didn't have to develop any types of looks.
That's interesting.
And man weiß noch gut nicht technically from the water. Like we only know a few percent. So I'm saying that the ganze Welt you can look into like as gewesen the ant. It's pretty scary if an 8-foot ant also uns walkt heran do.
Yeah.
We're kind of messed up, you know what I mean?
Exactly. We're imagining like all types of things, but like it's right around us. We have no idea. Yeah, and it's interesting. You're right about the water. We don't know anything. And I mean, look, there was the plane crash in Washington, D.C., and it took them days to take out all the people. And like, it's just 7 feet of water.
It's 7 feet of water?
That's what I read. 7 feet of water. But yeah, because the helicopter is sitting in the water and it's sticking out. So 7 feet of cold water.
It's not murky dort, aber gehört. I don't
exactly. Now think about an ocean. Dude, you can have the best technology. It's just 2024. We have no idea what's going on. We can go down, but like to really get a
no, we
have no idea. I mean, we've never caught a blue whale. You know, humans, there wasn't a single, there was never a blue whale that we were able to study in an aquarium.
But also they found out a few years ago that a whale could actually, I think a blue whale or something, could actually go way lower than they think of the pressure. Like they can go down really, really deep.
Wow. And what if there's like a much bigger fish? Because
we don't know.
The world is so big. There can be an animal that's 100 times as big as the blue whale and still be somewhere. I mean, okay, it's a projection.
No, I'm saying like we have submarines that go around. I'm saying,
yeah, but you don't know their technology. We have no We only know what we know. Do you think we know? Like, if somebody tells you, it's 2024 and we finally know. Just 400 years ago, just 500 years ago, we didn't even know that America exists. I mean, the Western civilization.
Well, what do you mean, geharget, wie heißt der? Verwusst vergesse ich nehmen, that he said that the sun revolves around us.
How long ago was that?
Like 400 years ago.
Yeah, not too long ago. It's funny, weil die Gemura hat schon gewiss von den Sachen. And it's interesting, Rias, like, when it comes to astronomy, I think my Tata hat mich gesagt, like, the Gemura had it right by, like, the detail. The Mazulis and the stuff, and, like, we don't know how they know. Like, Guy verstehe, wieso vielleicht 2,000-3,000 Jahre zurück, how they knew, like, that there's even 10... Have you ever looked in a real telescope?
Yeah.
Have you seen Saturn with the rings around it?
Yes.
Have you?
I'm saying I like space very much.
Right. So how big was the telescope that you looked into?
No, I didn't see the Saturn with my own eyes. I saw it with other people's telescopes. They put it online and
oh, okay.
Like,
so there's a it's interesting. So there's a sky observatory in Tupper Lake in upstate New York. It's like 3-4 hours. I went to camp over there. Anyway, and it's only open on a really dark night. And they have these massive telescopes, $50,000-$60,000, out of like very, very like technologically advanced,
high end,
And it's funny. So that it has a little screen, and you put in, show me Saturn or whatever. They know how to use it. I wouldn't. And the telescope is on a tripod, and an electric tripod, and it turns to Saturn. And then you look inside, and it's so tiny that you have to know where to look. Even in the telescope, you have to know where to look because you're looking through like billions of particles, in the air.
Yeah.
Even from here up to space, the dust and the stuff that you're looking through, right? It's so tiny that you can't even see you can see the rings because it looks like it looks like this. Okay? It looks like a ball with a
line.
With a line.
It's only a few kilometers big. The width in the rings.
Fin the rings? Oh, interesting. I wouldn't say that because like Saturn is so big.
Yeah. But it's only.
That's very interesting.
It's not.
Oh, maybe thick, but I don't know if wide.
No, wide is hundreds.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Wide.
Thick. When we see it, we see it this way.
Oh,
not
okay,
this way.
Okay, I know. Oh, wow. So all the photos, they're like something in space that caught it.
From another satellite.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to say is that it's so tiny that how did they know 2,000-3,000 years ago that that's a planet? I mean, obviously they knew because it's the only stars that move. The other stars all move together. So obviously, it moves in a different angle. But like, which one is first? Which one is second? How far is this from? We have no idea.
The thing is, they saw the sky differently than us because we don't see the sky really. We see, let's say, 5% of the sky with our own eyes.
How did they see more?
Light pollution. And it makes a huge difference.
It makes a huge difference. But you can go to cities with no light pollution. Sedona, Arizona, have you been? There's no light pollution. It's actually like the municipalities. You can't show certain lights on. Like, ich meine, noch 10, 11 Nacht darf es auslöschen.
As in Hawaii, you have to have certain lights.
Yeah, Hawaii. Okay, so in America, Tupper Lake has light pollution. That's why they have a ski observatory over there. There is no light pollution.
But in ogen, they had time.
That time,
exactly. They had time. They saw.
So right.
Day in, day out, day in. They didn't have mud. Didn't have TikTok.
They didn't have TikTok, and they didn't have electricity at night. So
there was nothing.
If you were a person that was up at night, what did you do besides looking?
Yeah, there were curiosity. They ganze Zeit kicken, machen, zeggen.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, it's funny. So when you take psychedelics and stuff, and same thing, like you see a total different picture up there. It is unbelievable the amount, because when you're on psychedelics, you kind of also transcend into time. So because die kan zitten for 2 minutes in kicking off the show.
Time doesn't
exist.
Time doesn't.
Time isn't anything, and then
you lose the illusion in time.
Exactly, you're just present. You're just present.
You don't know how long you've been at a place.
Yeah.
Like I always say, when you take any type of psychedelics, guys staan in a plane, and you don't know how long bis dorten, and then goes to the next chapter.
And it keeps like moving.
You don't know.
And you like move with it.
It feels like hours. Again, that's why when you're in a sort of bad trip, you're not really in a bad trip. Your brain is working out something. You don't know how long it's gonna stay.
Yeah, I never had a bad psychedelic experience in my life.
Good.
It's funny. I did have a traumatic experience with weed. I was 20. It was the only time I took weed. It was the most traumatic experience in my life.
A lot of people have that because
I never touched it again. I will never touch it again.
It's bad education. That's I would say also.
Maybe.
Because someone next to you could have said a right word or a bad word. And mention mine as weed is also, no, smaak me nog eens. No. It's step one.
It can be a psychedelic.
It's a step one of psychedelics. And
Interesting.
also edibles is like step 2 because it goes into your liver. And it releases different chemicals.
Right.
So it's like
right. There is no education. I mean, now everything is changing, but like when we grew up, there was no education about anything because like our parents didn't know. So who would tell them to educate us about something that they don't
exactly.
know?
Especially ze gaan we ook illegal. So ze gaat de illegal coke, heroin, weed.
I see.
Alles gaan in een blanket.
Right. I see. I mean, I've had like hundreds of people that I've done psychedelics with. I mean, so many from the community, like amazing people, and people are healing and people are looking out of the box and just phenomenal.
Het is niet voor jedem ook niet. You have to really know.
Nothing is for everybody.
Yes.
I mean, if you do it from a place where, you need this new experience, you're going to go have fun with this, now it's going to fuck you up.
If you, so wie met de ayahuasca zag, ja. So I remember when I found out about ayahuasca, ik heb a friend was a traveler. Hij traveled de ganze Welt. Like, but they traveled in die shine hotels.
The hostels.
Yeah, no, he woont met de oilem. Like,
Wow. Yeah, and there's a little hostel. What's it called? A hostel?
Hostels, but he
yeah.
lives more with the locals. Like, I got nicht to the shine plätze. He's going, he got to the, down and under. So hij zoekt meer, als hij gewend in Brazil, bij de Amazon, in een mensje te maas begonnen dorten, als ze is nicht...
Just 1 second.
Oh, is je?
Sorry.
No. Ik kan me muten de mic.
No, just a second. So sorry.
No. So hij zoekt meer, wenn is umgekommen zu Brazil, whatever, en hij gevraagd aan, had hem gezocht als, you don't come to Brazil. The guys around the Amazon, ihr geht in ayahuasca. No. Besides, it's a holy drink. Ayahuasca calls you. That's how they... The alle mensen die do ayahuasca do...
I wouldn't say alle.
Wenn ich zoek de woord
Right.
alle, is
Okay.
never 100% alle.
Okay.
Also wie einer zoekt, ze doen zeggen, de gitte kaps. Het nog eens getroffen. You get what I'm saying?
So the alle mensen no?
It's not a thing that you go search for it. It's a thing that searches for you.
I must.
En
okay,
ik-
good.
en ik-
Okay, fine. Have you tried?
Nein.
Okay, fine.
Ik ben nog geen in Brazil.
Okay.
Was ich aber rausgenommen von dem, was ich 13 Mal besan, ist, als nicht jeder haltbare Level, okay, lass mich jetzt gehen treffen, oder lass mich jetzt 10 Days, weil jeder eine hat das, in dieser Drog, man trefft sich. No, you have to have a problem that you can't get over, and then one of these drugs could help you get over it. If you're just okay, my guy told my guitar weekend.
It's no fun.
Even if it is fun,
It's no fun, but it's no fun because if you're
no,
not
it's fun. People are going to say it's fun. People do it by concerts and they have fun.
So it's complete. So we're talking about two different things. If you're gonna do psychedelics recreationally, you might have fun. I'm talking about doing it in an environment where ceremony is set. There's a set and setting, and it's for healing purposes.
But
now,
you also have to be ready to be
right,
healed.
but if you're not into healing, and if you don't have a therapist, and if you've not done any like soul searching or anything, then it's almost impossible for it to be fun. It can be fun if it's done recreationally. It can be fun if it's done by a concert. I forget, like... Ich meine, ich weiß nicht die Hand noch, but there are ayahuasca groups in his house, and like, I think one of his rules is like you need to have a therapist. So that's what I'm saying. Like, so there is a two types of ayahuasca that I want to discuss.
Is it public
with you, actually.
knowledge?
I don't think. Ich hab's nicht gehört. Like, if somebody told me, "Oh, you can't tell anybody." I mean,
Okay. I've never heard those two names together.
Oh, interesting. He's doing a lot of psychedelics. Shit, was I not supposed to say this?
I have no idea.
I don't know if I was or not, but you know what? If I wasn't supposed to and the world hears about it, I hope he talks about it because he has a big microphone and he can help a lot of people. So no, look, I didn't hear it from somebody like in a secret quiet room that I can't repeat this. I heard it from the street. So I think he's an amazing guy. The thing with is I actually bumped into him yesterday and I was shocked. Because I only know him from 5 years ago and I did a photo shoot with him. And dude, he was all over the place. He was intense. He was always a big personality. I have never seen this guy like I saw him yesterday. He was calm. He was collective. He was quiet. I mean, he had his personality. He was himself, but he looked happy. He looked calm. He looked collective. And dude, it looked torturous to see what people do with him. He was in the grocery for 5 minutes. I looked around. He gets stopped every 10 seconds.
I mean, it's a part of his world.
It's part of his world, and we didn't discuss that. So I used to do photography. That's the reason I stopped doing photography. Because like in the beginning, I liked it. It was fun. I got a lot of attention, but it can be torture.
That is a whole nother
a whole different thing. I had to drop my social media. I had to complete. This is the first time I even speak, and people are going to see me because like I've been hiding for years, just because of that. Like I couldn't take it anymore.
And die hast leveled up the ganze photography. Yes. I'm telling you that you pushed it in a positive way, but I don't know if I meant it like what I said. Fine. I think that you made it. Weißt du, vielleicht on family pictures. Mm-hmm. You didn't invent family pictures.
Right. I made it like fun and creative. And
wie kids wanted it.
Oh, I see.
Ja, Tati, Mami Wilness in de kind staat dort en dans en gaat daar dans en dat gaat de richtige smakel. You made it interesting that the kids.
Right. It has to be fun. Look, like I think like a lot of professions in our community. I don't know how to say this. I'm having a hard time saying it, but like I feel there's one thing or 5 things that every person is really good at. And when they do that fully, so I do real estate now. I'm an agent. I do rentals. I generally enjoy bringing two people I enjoy bringing two people to agree on something. And when I do it, I feel alive. It works magic. I love it. I always have a way to bring two people to agree on it. Yes, I want to make my money, but like while I do it, I feel like I'm an artist. Like I don't want this guy. He's a butt. And I'm like, okay, you know, like Ruchi, like okay, let's just bring it down a bit. I don't know. Nobody told me how to do it.
It was the coolest cucumber in the room, and you love that.
And I'm not the coolest cucumber in the room, but that's what I'm good at. I'm good at negotiating, bringing two people together. I'm good at bringing somebody down and bringing somebody up. It's just what I'm good at. Nobody told me how to do it. It's what I know. It's how I work. It's not that I'm doing it better at home or ich kann mich besser auskennen am Wahlwegnehmen. No.
Gerade ja.
Absolutely not. Because like then emotions come in. It's the same wreckage that everybody has.
Batteries not included.
Exactly. But like what I'm trying to say is when I did photography, it was what I did. I enjoyed it. I was good at it. I bet that every person in the room, no matter how talented, no matter how successful, no matter how good you look, no matter, there is something that you're good at. And if I can give you one message is don't settle until you find a thing. Because when you find that thing, first of all, you'll be rich not because it's going to give you more money, because you're going to enjoy what you do. So automatically you will go from working 10% of your capacity to 100 or even 90.
Nice.
It always works like that because when you enjoy doing something, you'll find time for it. And if you don't enjoy your job, oh, dude, you're not going to give it all. You're not going to give it all your energy. You're not going to give it all your mental space. Look at all the entrepreneurs. So when they do what they like to do, that's why they're successful because,
it's not considered working.
It's not considered working. They don't feel like they work a day in their life. It's true. I don't feel like I work a day in my life. I generally enjoy going into work. I look forward to it. My partner Shmili, my arbiter, I made him my partner. We sit in the car 8 hours a day. We just love it. We love it. And the reason nobody beats me in my game is not because I'm better at it. It's because I enjoy it so much that you can't beat me in my game. Because when you decide you go into work, I'm already at work for 2 hours because I love what I do. Do you get it?
Yeah. if somebody decides to go to work, and for you it's not work.
You can't compete.
Yeah.
It's done. You can try.
Yeah.
I work with everybody. Dude, everybody's good people. I have a bunch of competition. They're all amazing people. I haven't bumped into one person that stole from me, that crossed me out. They're all amazing people. We all treat each other with respect in the market. I mean, it's a different market, the rental market. There's also a ton of competition. Everybody that I work with, everybody's amazing. And everybody wants to make a buck. Everybody wants to feed their family. The question is like, do you have it or you don't? Are you good at doing it, or can you just shout out your product and try selling it? And that's the difference between I was in the mall the other day. Am I good different subjects, or we're fine?
No, I was actually thinking about that because we jumped.
Yeah, we jump a lot. That's how I do
We
it.
jumped.
Okay, fine. So bring me
No. Choshebakim anasach hate for them. Like, I don't bring it back to the point because I wanted to make a point. But this is a part of a conversation. So food. I'm sorry, guys. It's just.
You are so right, by the way.
It's just food.
Where were we?
So we get from Psychedelics.
Oh my God, you're right.
No, but ich will bringen a point von Psychedelics, als sie nicht für jedem, Tylenol nicht für jedem, nur wenn du hast a headache. Und dein headache ist dein Problem. Und sag mal, wenn eine geht durch eine kleine Pain, dann sag ich Alex, maar dan voelt man nahe, ich sogar habe gesintig Titter Ayahuasca, und sie viel geht. Wisst ihr, viel geht jeden sindig? You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying,
So,
but I have a lot of respect to the people that do ayahuasca, and the thing that I saw with everybody that's done.
Jetzt jumping in Siddiq, okay.
Yeah, but I do have a lot of so I'm just I feel like I'm not gonna say I disagree with you. I believe that voice is important so people know it's not a joke.
Ich nack es nicht.
Right,
Ich nack es
but
nicht.
from my experience with psychedelics, every person that I bump into that do psychedelics, first of all, I feel it like within seconds. There's a certain openness and vulnerability and like an ego that happens whether you like it or not. Sometimes it's not fun, but it's gonna happen.
That is the part
that
you
part,
can deal with.
And it works on everybody. So whether or not you're a healthy person, whether or not you do it now just because you chase, whether or not you do it because everybody's doing it, it will work. You will have an ego death, and you will enjoy your day-to-day life on a different level. And I tell you, Viggy, go do it. If you do it once, do it twice. Don't do it because something has to change. Do it because you will see the world on a different
I
level.
agree. And in disagreement ist, by the way. We're on the same page.
Okie dokie. So it's actually funny that we finished the interview, and then I went back to my amazing wife, Lily, and she's so smart. And she made me aware that I missed out on a couple of really important subjects. So I was like, Viggy, I got to come back. We got to discuss these 5, important visaitas.
Sort of disclaimers a bit.
Sort of disclaimers, but also like I feel like I spoke about psychedelics in a very, very like, psychedelics for everybody, just go have fun with it, and whatever you do, it's always going to work out. And like, I went home and it's like, I know different, you know what I mean? And I let myself be corrected, and she's very smart and she knows a lot about it. She's much more educated than me, and she's actually a therapist in a way. She's helping people, not a therapist, but whatever she does, she's a coach and an equine therapist. And so she knows more than me, and she has her head on the right place. So respect to my wife. I love you so much. And yeah, so a couple of details that I wanted to discuss about psychedelics. And you actually tried making me aware during the conversation that hey, chill. So there's a couple of points. The number one is that like it's not psychedelics for everybody. If anybody in your family has any mental health history and stuff like that, or you have any type of mental issues, like do not touch it, or like at least speak to a professional, speak to a therapist about it. It's not something that should be thrown around. You're right about what you said. It's open heart surgery, and that gets me to the second point. Is like who you do it with, which is a point that you actually made. Do it with a person that you trust, because you're going to be an open heart surgery. And that person needs to have so much experience. And saying that, it comes to mind, so many of young facilitators in the community that are actually like playing around with fire, in my opinion. And I know some of them, and it scares me. And they serve this and they serve that, and they don't have any prior knowledge, like any years and years of experience. I've spoken to people that have been with these people in ceremony, and like it was dangerous stuff. So like you really have to know the person that you do this with and trust them, and speak to a lot of people that actually have done medicine or any type of trauma work with this person. I mean, in the community, there's like a big understanding that like therapists don't need to have diplomas and stuff. And I get it. You want to go to a therapist without a diploma. You want to go to a therapist without a degree. I get it. It's my big lacht from professionals.
Yeah.
Like Yeah, I was gonna say it's not important, but like not to this stuff. I mean, this is open. This is like stuff in your system, and it can f you up for the rest of your life if this person doesn't have experience or training. You have to be trained in by other people.
En dat is toch het op experience, dat is toch wissen hoe ze titsie aan mens, how it opens up, how it closes, hoe hij is vulnerable, en hoe hij is dat bad trip, a get trip.
Everything, and that takes me to the next thing where like it's not even about the trip, it's about the work that you do after. The psychedelic experience is basically like a window where you look into yourself and you see what's going on, but like really the changes, they all happen after. And if you don't like implement it and work on yourself after with the proper help and guidance from a therapist, the same therapist or somebody else, it does nothing to you. And every facilitator understands that, but still the fact that you need to have years and years of experience and get really trained in by somebody. Also wie smichen in weg. It's not something that anybody can
We darf zijn definitely aware, and we darf zijn ze niet kan fun zach.
Exactly.
Even though it is fun.
Exactly.
But that's like a side effect on the back burner of a
thing.
But
it's not always fun. It's not always fun. It's the difference between running away and running towards. When you do psychedelics at a party or something like that, you're actually running away from your problems. When you do psychedelics with a therapist, you're going to your problems head on, and it's brutal sometimes. It's not fun. Fun and enjoyment is the fact that you're so in tune with yourself that you actually learn that pain and pleasure are both enjoyable because it's all a part of the experience.
The coin.
Same side of the coin. It's not fun. It's scary as hell. You're gonna face all of your problems, and if you're not gonna be ready, it will throw you off the bus. And you have to be cold. It's like it's a calling. You have to know what you're doing. You have to feel into it. And the scary part is that when somebody wants it, a lot of the times they're not in a good place. They're traumatized. Their life is not working out, and they fall in with people that pray. They charge. It became an industry. They're good people, they wanna feed their families, but like they're young. They've done this for 2-3 years, when it became popular in the community or whatever, and they're damaging people. And maybe they don't see it yet, but like if you're listening, and I know some of them will listen, I'm begging you to slow it down. Dude, some of the things that you told me is scaring me. Some of the people that I speak to, it's scary. I'm not God. I'm not in any type of control to stop you or people like you. It's scary, dude. It's not fun. It's dangerous. It's playing with fire. And yeah, that's all I wanted to add. Okie dokie.
All right, back to
the other conversation.
Back to the episode. The difference between me and dir in the conversation is, die zoekst jeder einer is, wenn ich zoek jeder, I don't mean jeder, is like, you should do it in your growing life because it looks like you worked on yourself and you're working on yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, right? All that. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at, we're going to get better. No, you mentioned that they're not like you. Mm-hmm. They're not growing, that die gunisht.
Yeah, but that die is gunisht because they lack the capability because they have bigger trauma that we don't understand and we can't even give it a word.
Agreed. But ook het, nog the other thing I was trying to say is when man neemt die mine Sachen, ich rief es also wie open heart surgery, open mind surgery, dan brain is offen. Now, meaning to say is when die guys deze door in dan chaperone, wie rief man der Mensch was vierte so
facilitator.
Facilitator.
Okay, so this is where I want to discuss the different types of psychedelics that people do. Because like in the community, a lot of people do like ayahuasca and indigenous ayahuasca. I'm not into that.
I think.
Okay, fine, go ahead.
No, I want to bring out the point. And nog dem kan we rennen. The brain is offen. Meaning you're vulnerable. In apps einer kann dich heranlegen in Kopf, stisse mit der Wurm. And once you're done with the drug, dann Kopf ist gemacht, and now you have it in places in your brain, ich rief es in the foundation in your brain. You have
subconscious.
Now you have stupid stuff that someone put in sich schwerer rauszuhacken. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. But I do have to say two things. Number one is like, we don't know what somebody else has been through to make this decision, or even he lacks the capacity or mental understanding to get better. I've spoken to people, dude, the amount of trauma, it's all Holocaust. I mean, most of it is Holocaust trauma. The stories that I've heard from people in this community, what they saw at home, you can't even begin. If I always thought that I had it hard. My mom and tata saying I big overwhelmed. My mom can have a sharfera. Got 10 kinder. There was always a lot going on. I've heard stories. I tell you when we switch off the mics, certain things. I mean, dude, it's so beyond effed up, and you will only hear these stories when you're in ceremony with people, because people don't open up about these things.
Yeah, I mean, they can't even talk about it because it brings up emotion. And also you have ego. So when you have ego death and zero emotion, you don't connect to the story. You can talk about it like it's a storybook, and it helps you.
None of that. I feel like when the protection comes off, that you have to lie comes off. Yes,
ego.
And I'm not only specifically talking about our community. I'm talking about I've been in groups with a lot of goyim, and now most of the time, if I've
It's okay.
And I'll tell you a very, very interesting story that people I think will be shocking for people to hear. I was in a psychedelic group with a couple of goyim and Eden. I was in a group with this guy. His name is Daniel, an amazing guy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, plug on the mic in the back.
Wait, the mic was
No, it's all good. Just okay, that's it.
Anyway, so I was sitting there and I was crying. And I was processing some of the things, and I don't know if I started processing the Holocaust, because you can process a lot of like ancestral trauma when you're on psychedelics. Because a lot of things we think, oh, man tat macht nicht gesagt, but like this goes down family generation. It's in the genetics. It's been scientifically proven that trauma goes into the genetics. We have Holocaust trauma in our genetics. Anyway, and I was crying, and I don't remember what I was crying, but like I look around, and there's this tall guy, and I was talking in Yiddish, and.
You know English?
No, in Yiddish.
Oh, Yiddish.
And Yiddish is German, basically. It's very similar. And this guy sits by the corner. His name is Daniel. And he comes over to me. And we go out for a smoke, and we smoke. And he asked me, like, which language was that? And I said, that was Yiddish. And he's like, oh, because he's German. And he's a tall German guy, and he's good looking, and he's a very successful guy, big hedge funds and stuff. And he tells me that his grandfather, he's German, and I start crying, and he says his grandfather was an SS officer. Okay. He is in ceremony because he's processing the shame of being a grandchild of an SS officer. Okay. And he doesn't even know how to he doesn't even know how to start processing it, because like we don't even know how that, dude, the Holocaust happened so. It's like it happened yesterday. We didn't even begin to understand what it. We know what it meant for 6 million people. We don't know what it meant to us as a nation yet. It's such a shock on the system. We can't even. I don't even want to go there. But what was shocking to me is the pain on the other side, because like that's what's going on in Germany these days. Like they're so ashamed and embarrassed that, Elon Musk did a conference
something.
And he said,
I heard something.
You don't have to suffer for the sins of your grandchildren. In Germany, the shame, the guilt is beyond. And I looked at this guy, his name is Daniel, and we hugged and we cried. And it was a moment for me to see like, wow, I never thought of it that way. And he's there shedding and throwing up and just crying, and it's like, why? And if you believe in ancestral stuff and Gilgilim and all that stuff, like we don't know if we come back as like we have no idea what's going on. I feel like going to Sweden, it's kimmer up to massacres on certain Sachen, but we don't know if the German people are here now and says that massacring the stuff that they did. I have no idea. I'm not in the heavens. But my point that I'm trying to make is when it comes to trauma, when it comes to healing, why certain people do certain healing, and why, if we look at them, they don't do anything, they're not getting anywhere. We have no idea. We can only listen to them. We don't know. VIGGY, I don't know anything about you. I know your parents. I lived in your parents' basement for 2 years of my life. You know that? I used to rent the house over there.
I didn't know for 2 years. But
yeah, I think close to 2 years. Amazing people. But I don't know what you've been through. I only know what you're willing to share. But even if you share with me, I will never know the effect that it had on you. And it's not in a way to, we're all victims. No, we're all having our life story. Healing. What does it mean healing? Some people have this understanding that healing means that you're going to get healed. Healing is a lifestyle. It's like somebody's an addict and they go to rehab and they come out, they're going to be recovering addicts for the rest of their life. It's a lifestyle because that's what works. For addicts, being a recovering addict is the only thing that works. It's not that, one day you're not going to be an addict. No.
No, you're going to want that.
You're going to want that stuff for the
alcohol.
rest of your life. But you're going to live as a recovering addict. It's a formula that's been proven to work. The same thing with people that are in healing. Nobody in healing says, I'm going to do ayahuasca or therapy for 2 years and then I'm going to be healed. No, it's a lifestyle. And that's what people don't understand. Like, how long are you going to go to therapy? For the rest of my goddamn life, because I like it, because I like who I'm becoming, because I like what it means to be a person in therapy. I like the self-reflection. I like the awareness. I like the humility. I'm not better than anybody, but I do tend that it's managing my life better, right?
Yeah.
So to say that some people, it affects them differently than others, I think, I'm not saying it's to you, but like, I feel like people don't understand what it means being in healing. Ga nicht umfangen, wenn es endigen. Jiddischkeit endigt sich amul. Es kommt etwas Zeit, was hast du gleich nicht mal Twillen, hast du gehitten genick Shabbos, als kannst du jetzt relaxen. No, it's a lifestyle. It's like everything else in life. The only thing that we think is going to end one day is our drive to make money, and like, between me and you,
that
doesn't end either, right?
No.
Nobody's retiring these days.
Also wie so gerade gemoenes auf ein Mann, was makes $2 million a year. Fang to realize wie poor it is.
Exactly.
Because he has a friend that makes 15.
Yeah, exactly. It never ends.
He's like, damn it.
Ends. And it doesn't, it's funny because like I make a good living. I'm not rich, but I make a good living.
You are rich.
But I'm not rich. But you know where I'm rich? I'm rich in my mind.
But this is where the rich, this is where the poor people think they're going to be. I feel me, yeah? Like once I have money, I'm going to be this and this and that. But it's not true. I mean, there is a number.
You need to cover.
When you're poor.
To cover.
No, when you're poor,
yes.
It's a physical thing. You can see it in the brain. You can make an MRI. They can tell you he was poor in his life.
I think poor is constriction. Because like if you want something or everybody around you has it and you can't have it, you're poor.
I'm saying more of housing, food, rent. I'm not talking about fancy stuff and extra.
Right. Oh, so die Rätsel ist wie eine von dick. Okay, we're taking a tiny little break.
You want to take it? Okay.
So was haben wir gerade reden?
As a host, wat ik gedaan gedenken.
Healing. Healing, and I think I finished that. Healing is a lifestyle. It's not something that ever ends.
I think we're going to leave it at
Yes, we're going to leave it at that. And by the way, one of the reasons that I wanted to come on this podcast is because I respect all the other podcasts.
Liggen er! I'm just kidding.
But one thing
I'll edit it out.
No, it's fine. But like, certain subjects you can't open.
The camera out with it?
Yes. Certain subjects you can't open on certain podcasts. And like a lot of podcasts have asked me, do you want to come here? Do you want to? Not that they're like begging me to come. I'm not that business. But like we spoke, and I was like, can I discuss that? I'm like, no, we can't discuss that yet. I'm like, we need to be able to discuss everything and anything in a respectful way.
This is the mala for me.
I know, Viggy. That's why I love you so much. It's amazing. I looked at the other podcasts, and it's like there's humility, there's openness to discuss anything. We're not afraid of anything.
In the manish professionals, I like to say that as people how hear criticism that we don't stick to point or there's du kan teuchen. Sorry, since you can't teuchen or there's no.
I think there was so much teuchen that
so I said I understand. Die willst ausheren, so because of YouTube, like man maand mit jenem's podcast and Joe Rogan ein Sache, because this is in ein Shield, this is in ein website, right? So I said no. Joe Rogan is Joe Rogan.
I actually think it's funny that I'm telling you this when I watch you. From alle unsere heimische podcasts, if there's one that I would like actually in my mind even affiliate, that would be you. Because of that, because you don't run on a certain subject. You just bring people and you talk about anything and everything.
That's what people don't understand. They think interviewed einer was getan a certain Sache for 30 years, right? A profession. It is a rocket guy. Mm-hmm. So he's been doing it for 30 years. He knows everything about rockets and er sagen. So why would you talk to him about shopping, right? Mm-hmm. In the manish echt professionals. Because you don't have a thing that you did for 30 years. Mm-hmm. Even the Sache, wo die tist you're not really a professional. Mm-hmm. If you get what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Like, laat me zeggen, die als photographer, maybe ping DEI.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to come up on a photography podcast and start teaching them anything.
Exactly, like
Nothing.
even though you know ISO,
But nothing.
But you can't just nemen a camera.
No.
You zoeken deze de L5 and this is
On a photography podcast, I would be the least desirable person to come up on.
But the hosta photography live gehad in your head knowledge. So this is verwusst ich zoek me toe is interessant. Weil it's nicht professional. Ich try to bleiben off topic because
Correct.
sometimes you have to get back if we're talking about psychedelics and you want to bring out a point. I'm going to bring out a point.
Right. But it's funny because I think Joe Rogan said after the Donald Trump podcast that Trump does that, by the way. He goes off topic. He has this amazing thing that he knows how to come back, but he goes away. Donald Trump.
Weaving.
Yeah, weaving it's called. Oh, weaving, that's the word, yes. I think I'm weaving. I don't know how to come back always. I go in all the way in it. I'm not Donald Trump.
You're not running you're not running for president.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not claiming to be a professional.
Right.
Kim daarover doe, ik ben een professional, so ga je redden van Dame. So, if you talk about photography, and you're a professional in photography, I will try to bring you back to photography. But you're not.
Right. I get it. Yeah, you're right. There's no, we can go anywhere. We started with animals, we went there. Oh, do you want to talk about Donald Trump for a bit?
It's politics.
Yeah, what do you think about Donald Trump?
At the president, so he doesn't need my thinking.
No, but what do you think? Positive, negative, concerned? I'm concerned. What do you think?
Bij mij is het meer, besides for where it is and what his policy is, I feel like there's a guy at the wheel from the car.
Love it.
Versus the previous president is schon gewesen een riesige system. Ze gehad veel met kags, ja, een system ze gevoerd. En ergens wie. So you didn't have to go back constantly. The president had gezocht, because it was a machine. Ze can love
it.
You know?
Yeah, I love it. It's so funny that we see eye to eye on this.
So dat is agreeing met
no, because like I love it because I have issues with him and stuff. But like I spoke to a friend and we were going back and forth on it, and I told him, listen, I feel like a leader is better than no leader. I don't care good leader, bad leader. I think humanity is built on a government and society is built with the concept of a leader. Somebody's driving it. It's always been that way for thousands of years.
At least they claim. If you claim he is president, right? I don't think people felt that Biden actually himself is sitting there making...
Right.
Yes, if he had a good Tuesday...
Right.
At a Gewink League, he's not a dumbass.
But I do think what Trump did last week after the plane crash, I think it was horrible.
That was.
Because when a plane crashes and there's 45 people dead and you have 45 families that are grieving,
yes,
it's not time.
When ze komt de zaak met time, I disagree with a lot of people because I feel like ich zoek ook het daaraan zeggen. Now you're saying it? Yes, because now you're going to listen. Now when a plane comes crashing down, I'm not saying that
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I get it.
Now we're talking about DEI. If it's, let's say, DEI.
You have a point.
When are you going to bring it up?
I think of it. I did not think of it. You're right. It's like, you might not like the way I say it, but now everybody's listening, so now I'm going to say it.
But now you can see, if DEI, we hebben eerder gezocht naar Sagmoel. If DEI is the problem.
DEI is definitely a problem. Even if Trump is right with DEI, because even if this particular crane crash, which by the way, they think, or I read somewhere, my brother told me that the helicopter pilot was a transgender. Actually, Neshamas. Okay, fine.
See, that's also a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I saw that transgender
is
releasing a video.
Oh, that she's not. Yeah, exactly. Fine. But like, even if Trump's point about DEI is not about this particular crash. DEI is dangerous. Whether or not we're going to wait until 100 planes are crashing out of the sky, or when trains start colliding, or when just everything goes to shit, it has nothing to do with this particular incident if it has anything to do with DEI. DEI is dangerous.
Exactly.
If I'm qualified, but you're trans, and I'm more qualified and you're going to get the job, then we're cooked. We're
exactly.
cooked. I agree.
So when are you going to talk about it? Before planes crash?
I hear you.
I'm not saying if that's the case. And it is that's called an opportunist. And that's what we like. The will start lead. Yes, I guess condolences to the family. Your thought and prayers. I don't know what that means. Because if you're in Missouri and dan Kinder gestorben jetzt in a plane crash, ich weiß, was thought and prayers helped, but it's
I hear you.
What else should he say?
I hear you.
And komt heraus, redt, you know what he's...
Die weiß, wie steigt.
Connect mit him, like, is the one who geschrieben the tweet. I disagree, but he is the... He's the one that
There's
wrote it.
somebody behind. It's not artificial. That's what exactly.
That's why I like him.
He can be bad, he can be good, but there's somebody there. I am too young to remember Obama, but like I never had an issue with Obama because he's a Barack Obama. He's an amazing individual. He's a respected guy. He speaks his own mind.
The problem is with Barack Obama, we didn't know the term fake news then. The only time you knew he was good because CNN and Fox told you he's good.
No, I'm not talking about the fact if he was good
Why
or
is he
bad.
good?
No, I'm not saying he's good. He's good because he's a leader. He has his own ideas. He is. Kamala Harris wasn't a leader. That's
you mean
all my
that part?
point.
Yes.
Barack Obama is a respected individual. You can respect him. He's a hardworking guy. He's built himself up from the ground. He has his own ideas. He speaks his own mind.
I don't think so because if you look back, the people he associated with in the deep state.
I'm not saying it was perfect, and I'm not saying I would vote for him, but like I can have more respect to him than Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris doesn't have a single original thought in her brain.
I feel a Biden.
Even Biden.
Like he was so old, and you're telling me that he is cognitive, and he's the one in
that he's not cognitive. They said that he's not cognitive. It's unbelievable.
You know that movie from news reporters, like a comedy, and they're sitting in the back of a mobile home, and they're playing cards, and they're playing, and they're having a good time, and after like a few minutes, somebody asks, who's driving? And you see the front seat empty, and then it has an accident, and the whole RV turns up, like, and it goes into slow motion. The same idea.
Yeah.
Like, who is in charge? Who's really in charge?
Nobody knows.
It's the deep state.
When he was in charge. I don't believe in deep state, but I think big government, when so many people are over there and everybody's running the show together, nobody's running it. Call it deep state.
What's my deep state?
Okay.
Zal ik je explainen. Wenn man bringt er raus als a Chassidus hat a cool, ja? The cool hat so gesagt.
Cool. Oh, okay.
Cool said like
cool
that.
Is deep state.
Hold on.
Okay.
Do you think that in the cool office, the conversation is public knowledge? No. They're doing what they need to be doing, and then they give out a message, right? Says you can schicken durch the Rebbe. The Rebbe took the message.
Cool had decided.
Cool had decided.
I even questioned that.
Well, hold on. If you have a mayor that works in here, and the secretary works there for 50 years, is she corrupted? I'm saying, yeah.
Probably yes.
Yeah. She works there for 50 years. Sie can pull strings. This is deep state. No, in that local level, had she not so much power. That's what deep state is.
I get it.
If you're a congressman, right, and you have people around you, and dan chief of staff will nicht etwas information soll umkommen zu dir. Kommt das schon? Okay, now the advent von phones a bisschen schwerer, but how would you know? It's down bubble. Aber kommt sagen das, wenn wenn alle Chassidim Arimim sagen, as is so and so, how would you know different? So that's what I'm saying. That is the deep state. Alle chief of staffs, was arbeiten schon dort.
They have so much more power than their position actually holds.
Yes.
So automatically that becomes deep state. Because Chuck Schumer really only represents New York, and okay, you want to tell me that he has a bit more power because he's the flung, but like the amount of strings that Chuck Schumer can pull is beyond what he deserves. Exactly. But just because he's been there for so long and he's made all these relationships,
this is the deep state.
They're monsters.
Yeah, but also, ich darf mich unnehmen, not in a like in a negative way, but just in a psychological way. When you become a Rosh Kul, or you become a congressman, or your ideas in problems are way different than the layman guy. That neighbor had a problem with the grooves and with the garbage. He doesn't really get the phone call that a big municipality in Virginia is full with garbage and they can't accept it anymore. You don't see that. Now, all of a sudden, as a congressman, ich schieß nehmen, ich weiß nicht, this is, bin nicht so versed in this, but almost whoever is in charge from them, macht up, you know what, we're going to drive it down now to Wisconsin. It's mehr Geld. So all of a sudden they do film it, but you don't know that. You wouldn't know that. So what I'm saying is when as you rise in
power,
positions,
the more disconnected you get from actual society,
you see different problems.
Oh, okay, I get it.
You see different problems that you didn't know before. So you have to maneuver it differently. You get what I'm saying?
You see the full picture.
You see bigger the picture.
I get it.
Denke man walkt daran in cool. Was kannst du nicht machen als oi? Yeah, you might have that point, but you don't know the 50 other things. Like
So that's what. I was actually not following you, but I get it now. You're basically saying that like we also don't know the real things that they're dealing with. We don't know what they see. We don't know. Okay, which is funny that you're telling me this because Mike Johnson had an interview a couple of weeks ago. He's a cool guy. Yeah, and I don't know if heilig. It depends what we call heilig, but like, I think he's full of humility, and I like him. But he said a very interesting story. He said that when he became Speaker of the House a year ago, he said there was a certain national security matter that was actually keeping him up at night. Which, by the way, even that point was like, oh my gosh, like they're actually, because we have no idea. Like when he became Speaker, there was nothing that me and you knew that even actually is anything, concerning. But like he said, there was something that was keeping him up at night. It was really a situation, and he wanted to speak to the president. And we're going back 2 points, but I think we're going to kill two birds. Yeah. So
You talk about killing birds.
I eat animals, which...
whatever.
Okay. So I also want to talk to you about like the concept of loving animals. If it's you love to be around them or you love the animals. We'll get to that too. Yeah, fine. Okay, fine.
Part 2.
Yeah, you're right.
Gelijk me get aan in trouble.
Okay, I mean...
I'm just saying like part 2.
I mean, I like it.
No, dan was part 2.
Let's hope so. Okay, so Mike Johnson had an interview there, and he said that he there was something that's keeping up at night, and he wanted to meet with Joe Biden, and he started reaching out to the White House for a meeting, and this was a year ago, and they gave him a runaround. And then after 8 weeks, he was trying to meet with the president, and he's third in command. He says in an interview, "I'm third in command because like if the vice president, goes, like I'm the one that's supposed to take over control." And he couldn't get a meeting with the president to discuss something that was actually concerning to him that was keeping him up at night. After 8 weeks, he couldn't get a meeting, so he involved the media. He reached out to the media and whatever, he let it out. I can't meet the president. So within days, they have a meeting. Within days, the White House calls back. So finally, he comes over to the White House. It's 12 in the afternoon, and he comes into the Oval Office, and there's Nancy Pelosi, there's Chuck Schumer, there's all the big guys there sitting, and he was like, oh, damn, this is an ambush for Ukraine funding or whatever. So they sit and they sit by the fireplace and they talk. And after a couple of minutes, Biden puts his hand on him and says, I think me and Mike have to discuss certain things. And all the other guys were like looking like, what? Why'd you do that? Like on Biden, like, you're going to. And they walk out of the room, and he stands in the middle of the Oval Office with Joe Biden. And this is an interview. You can check it out. And from which state is Mike Johnson? Wisconsin?
Oh, you called out.
I have no idea. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's say Wisconsin. So he was like, before he was going into the national security matter, he asked Biden, Mr. President, why did you stop like natural gas export to Europe? And by the way, I must say, I don't know if I have the terms correct, if it was natural gas, if it was whatever, metal. I don't know what it was, but let's say he lives in Wisconsin, and let's say the issue was over natural gas. I'm not sure. I don't remember the details. And he says, why'd you stop the export the export from? Oh, I think he's from Louisiana.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I got it.
My favorite.
Yeah, your favorite. Okay, yeah. We'll talk about that one. And the president looks at him and says, "Mike, I don't know what you're talking about." And he says, "What do you mean? Just 5-6 weeks ago, or whatever, 5 months ago, you made an executive order that stopped the exportation from natural gas from Louisiana." And Biden says, "No, I didn't." And he stops and he says, it was at that moment that I realized that we don't have a commander in chief. And after a couple of minutes, Biden said, "Oh," and he said, "Mr. President, what do you mean you don't know? We can bring in your staffer. They can tell you about the executive order that you signed." And then Biden looks at him and says, "Oh, you're talking about that executive order? That was a study. We're conducting a study to see the effects on natural gas and whatever." He doesn't say the end of the conversation or what they discussed. But he basically says that the dilemma that he had, because like he can't come out to the media and say we don't have a president, because like Russia is gonna hear it, China is gonna hear it. So just sleeping at night knowing that there is nobody in charge, which I think I'm making a few points. The first thing is you can see these people, like the problems that they see, we don't see. We sleep at night pretty calm knowing that they care of that.
Someone in charge
hears about it.
Gonna take care of it.
Does it really happen? Do they get just bombed out with a million issues, and do they really nothing exist? We don't know.
It must be.
But there is a deep state because Biden was president for years and nobody was really in charge. So who is in charge? Everybody together.
It's the big wheels.
It's the big wheels, and in between those people, there are people with a lot of personal interest. There's people with a lot of insider trading.
You don't have personal interest. I have personal interest.
We all have. It's how we're wired.
So just imagine du bist in a position of power. You wouldn't give your uncle a contract, or you wouldn't.
I think I would hide it better. I think I would be much smarter. I think
But
they
after
got
50, 60 years, it's going to start leaking out. This is where it's happening.
Look, I do believe politicians have our. Okay, bring me one politician that doesn't like the fame. It doesn't exist because it goes together. They wouldn't run. Now, does that make them bad people? No, we need politicians, right?
I mean, this is.
I was in a fire department. Everybody likes attention. It's not a bad thing.
No, attention.
We need
good.
firefighters. Exactly, we need attention.
But
Now, they're just doing it for the lights. Maybe, but we still need firefighters. So who's going to do it? Are you going to do it?
But you also, if you put it on a voxel, on a scale, you have to see: is it more for the attention? Or is it more for help and also attention comes with it?
I guess you have a point.
Like, als ich gesagt, ich habe theory, ich habe geredet. Actually, wir kennen das ganze Randteil. Ich habe theory wegen Tzedukah in Ganeiden. So I told someone, there's no such thing as you can do a good deed without selfish anua. There's no such thing. Even if you want to do a favor without having anua, hast anua, das kann anua.
Of course.
So there's like, so we all agree here as mechanistian. Now, because we know that fact, we start putting it on a voxel. So let's say you give a money for an organization, right? You feel 70% because you know the organization, then 30%.
Because you want your name on it.
No, because you enjoy it. Not the name, because you enjoy it. My theory goes, jetzt noch die 120 kommst darauf, immer judge der, sucht Gott, okay, es ist gegeben, a so viel. You had 70% for Zai, 30% for you. We'll take off 30% from your Ganeiden as time served. Now, if you give a building because you have 95% that D fields get,
dude, you know that's bullshit, right?
No, I know. It's just that concept.
Okay, but it doesn't work like that.
No, I'm saying, hold on. I'm not saying fair. I prefaced.
No, but why is it a bad thing that somebody does something good and he also enjoys it? Even 99% he enjoys it. Do you think that?
So I'll tell you. If somebody does something that is more for the attention, then it's a recipe that is going to do something crazy for the sake of attention. Because he's going to have to feed that attention. Now, if you do it, it's not pinkliche numbers, but you get what I'm saying. But if 70% you do it because you want to help out that organization, but 30% you also feel good, that's a good balance.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. The where I can refer what you're saying is, you know, you go on social media and like people give food for homeless people, and they're like, they put the phone in them. I think it's disgusting. I think it's dishonest. I think it's just bad. I don't think it's even a good deed. Even if that guy gets a sandwich in the end, you do it for views. So you put it in his face. So that's where I'm getting it. If that's a guy that does something for attention.
But nobody knows. There's people that...
No, that's 100% attention. VIGGY, if I find all those people and I put the phone in his face while I give him a $20 bill...
Look how I help you, look.
Yes, that's pure attention. I don't think that's a good deed even. Now, what do you mean? How do you say it's not a good deed? They're actually helping people. Yes, they are, but they're also shaming the individual.
So you're saying...
I'm saying your point, but I'm saying I agree with your point, but I'm also saying...
but if you put a hidden camera...
in the
but if you have
the voxel idea, that like...
That's I said that it's a theory.
I agree with you is like, yes, ob eine Sachen for attention, ultimately... he's going to do things that are not so good.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah. That you could not have 100% only selfless. It doesn't work.
Now, I have this saying, not every time you're not selfless, you're actually selfish.
Yeah. Also, you also have to care for yourself. Yeah. Yes, I agree.
But it's okay to feel good. I think one of the biggest reasons that we're missing as a society is the allowance to enjoy.
I am not
the allowance to just enjoy. No, as a society, especially growing up religious, whether you grew up Jewish, Christian, or whatever you grew up, a part of the religious trauma is that we do everything for God. It's a fact. Go speak to people. A lot of the upbringing was we don't do things just to enjoy. But I think Sanishka Shimstira dienen der Eibesteht und auch die Sachen for my enjoyment, for my relaxation, for my mental health, just for my joy, because I enjoy doing this. Does everything have to be... Do you understand what I'm saying?
Das kommt darauf zu der Trauma, wo du es fragst, auch von World War II. This is our part because they didn't have time to enjoy. Enjoy wasn't on the roster. It was more, let's procreate, let's make kids, let's...
Yeah, I agree with
They
you.
didn't have time to
I agree
enjoy.
with you.
Now when they see why you have time to enjoy, we don't have time to enjoy. We have to build Yiddish families. We have to say it's serious.
Yeah, I get it. I 100% agree with you. One of the main things that psychedelics taught me was that to just relax and also take a breath and enjoy little things in life. The main thing that I would say psychedelics taught me is the enlightenment to enjoy the little things, to literally enjoy. Not everything has to have a high. It's enough of a high purpose that you are over here. You're a spiritual being. We're parts of God. Like, you're God, I'm God. We're all God together, and God is something that we can't even comprehend, right? God is so much bigger than we can understand. But dann sind wir alle gleich einmal. Das steht, ja.
Ja.
Die bist bei Schäfer, ich bin aber Schäfer. Und sie haben alle Expressions von Gott auf unseren eigenen Weg, right? We all deserve... Somebody told me last week, I'm going to come up, after I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Ich glaube in Gott. Ich bin ein Jid. Aber mein Gott passt nicht. Ich meine, ich habe any allowance zu tun, weiter wegen dem oder weiter in der zweiten. Absolutely not. Aber das ist auch das Gitter Gott. And by the way, this is was steht in alles Surem, this is was Hans, so sagen schon alle mal spielen. We just didn't grow up that way, right? Gott ist Gitt. Gott will Gitt's für jeden. If I was got this straight, I don't know, maybe it's just our view on it. Maybe everything is good, right? Das steht auch in alles
I'm
Surem.
listening.
Alles ist Gitt. It's just our view on it is dark, so then it's dark. But like, if you go through something, okay, and you can talk to people that got separated and rebuild their lives, you can talk to people that went through really hard times, and you will ask them after if they would have wanted to avoid it for the outcome that they got. Not a single person will tell you yes. Even a person that gets separated and ends up getting divorced is happy from the painful
experience.
Because he was able to get divorced then. So now I'm divorced. I didn't need that wife, right? Pain always takes us to a better place. Always. If you go along with it, not if you fight it and you hide it and you pretend that nothing happened and you come into the shul next morning and everything's fine. No, I'm fine. I'm not going through. I'm the cool shadchan, and I'm like whatever. I judge everybody, but my life is perfect. But if you're honest, and you take your hardships and you learn from it and you grow, I think me and you can both agree on the same thing. It's always worth it. It's always worth it. The outcome is always better. So like, you want to talk about God? Yeah, sometimes it's painful, but is it good? I don't think so. I think so.
Shia.
Yeah.
We're going to leave it here. Thank you.
Wait,
See you in the next one.
Did I touch like any, like...
Everything is fine.
Everything is fine. Okay, cool.
See you in the next one. Peace.
I love you guys. Bye.